and a warm welcome to everybody here at Health Library and to everybody watching online as well. So I'll quickly introduce myself. I'm Karishma Ahuja and I'm the author of the book called The Healing Power of Words. I'm a metaphysics teacher and speaker, and I take workshops on the law of attraction and vibration and a beautiful problem solving technique called Ho'oponopono. Okay? So these are workshops that help us go from where we are to where we want to be. Because as I always say, there are only two ways of living. We either live as if we have no idea what is happening and therefore we live as victims, or we take charge. Okay, so these workshops serve as reminders. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves, especially when times get tough, we need to remind ourselves that yes, we are in charge. So something that I came across really as a teenager, and I think I've been lucky that I came across this book called A Course in Miracles. Okay, when I was a teenager, of course I must confess I didn't understand it. Okay, and I don't still think that I have mastered the book, but that's not what the book aims at. The book really aims at making you feel more and more connected with who you are, and I think that's what we want to do. We more and more want to live from a space where you feel at peace, isn't it? You feel that you are in control. What a relief! The book speaks of not wanting for others to change, but rather spending all your time on doing something inside of yourself which not only brings you peace, but that peace brings more right into your life. I think that's what the essence of the book is. So, welcome to A Course in Miracles. This is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you get to establish the curriculum. However, free will does mean you decide what you take from it at a given time. This course does not aim at teaching you the meaning of love, because that is something, says the course, cannot be taught. But, however, the course does aim to teach you something that will help you remove the blocks that are stopping you from experiencing the presence of love in your life. The presence of love, which is our natural inheritance. Now, what I just said to you is not something that came to me. These are the first few words and statements as you pick up the book A Course in Miracles. So you can imagine, this book is written by Dr. Helen Schumann years back. She was inspired to write this. It wasn't really meant to be a book. So, the story that led to the making of this book is also a beautiful, miraculous one. So you see, imagine as a teenager picking up this book and reading these heavy words and lines. It didn't make sense. I just thought it's not for me. But then years later, I came across a talk by Marianne Williamson. She is been taking lectures on the Course in Miracles, and I must say a lot of my understanding of the book has come from Marianne Williamson. So I'm really grateful that people like her, were so dedicated and committed to spreading the teachings of A Course in Miracles. Okay, so let's go back to the very first para, because sometimes it can just go bouncer. So let's again come back to it. It says that you do have free will, which means you are here as co-creators. You have the power to change your experiences, but that power does not mean you decide what will come to you. That power means you will decide what you will do with what comes to you. You see, it does not contradict anything else, which we often refer to as the law of cause and effect, the law of karma, but it says what is important is that you must understand why you are facing problems And then how to deal with those problems. What is the most appropriate way of problem solving is what the course talks about. Therefore, it goes ahead to say, we don't aim at teaching you the power or the meaning of love, because that's what cannot be taught. It is for you to experience. But we must understand, whatever state in our lives we are, if we are not feeling and operating from a state of love, the course says you obviously need to look within and find out why. And it also gives us some beautiful solutions as to how you can start operating more and more from love. And then friends, why do we operate from love? What are the benefits? Let's see as we go ahead, okay? So therefore, I will divide this session into 3 parts. I'll take up some few principles because the course is huge, okay? Even if we take weekly sessions, we will probably not finish the book. But let me bring out some of these powerful principles that really have played a very important role in my life and in the lives of all those who live by these principles, okay? Let's take up the first part of this session, which is, what do you think we should begin with? Let's begin with relationships. Let's begin with relationships, okay? So tell me, according to you, what is the purpose of relationships? What is the purpose? What is the essence of these relationships?
To mutually grow.
To mutually grow. Wonderful. What else comes to your mind?
Maturity.
Maturity. Purpose? Yes.
Man is a social animal.
Yes.
So he cannot be all alone.
Yes.
He has to interact.
Has to interact.
Then only he can progress.
Yes. Wonderful. What else? What are your thoughts?
Connect to relate to others.
To relate to others. Yes. Yes. Wonderful.
It actually complements all those things which are lacking in our life.
Yes. Wow. Nice. Okay. What else? What else? What comes to your mind? You see, let's take lessons from our own lives. Let's think. Because then if we bring out something, you'll immediately catch the meaning much better. So I'm asking you the question. What do you think has the purpose of your relationships been? You see,
To get something.
to get something.
To give something.
To give. We have it all. Yes.
The circle is complete.
Circle is complete. Okay. Yes. What else? So you see, the course says, and I'll go very slow with this, okay? Because it's so powerful that if you try to catch the meaning of it, it can really bring about a huge transformation, okay? The course says, every interaction you have with another, it could be a small brief interaction with somebody at the counter at the grocery store. It could be with somebody you met for a few times, okay? Whatever interaction you have had with anybody, okay? That interaction, says the course, every interaction you've had, the course says, is a holy encounter. Holy encounter. It was meant. It was meant. It was not by chance. It was meant. Every interaction you've had a bigger divine plan. Every interaction, says the course, is a holy encounter. As you see him, you see yourself. As you treat another, you treat yourself. As you think of him, you will come to think of yourself. And never ever forget this. In him, you will either find yourself or you will lose yourself. In him, you will either find yourself or you will lose yourself. Now tell me, is it ringing a bell?
This is not very clear.
Not very clear.
Him means in him.
In any person you are having an interaction with,
What
yes.
is the definition of that?
Yes. So, I'll repeat it once again, okay? That's why I went slow with it. Because you see, this is powerful, but it has a deep hidden meaning inside, okay? Every interaction you have with another is a holy, divine encounter. As you see them, you will come to see yourself. As you treat them, you will treat yourself. As you think of them, you will come to think of yourself in the same manner. In them, you will either find yourself or you will lose yourself. Let me explain. You see, sometimes relationships bring out the best in us, sometimes the worst in us. That's what it is talking about. That your interactions will either help you grow or you go one level lower in your consciousness. But you see, the Course beautifully brings out the essence that your relationships are here as spiritual assignments. They are really assignments. You see, tests that we have to pass. So the question is, do we allow that experience to help us pass the test and grow, or we get to repeat the class because we didn't find the meaning in that relationship. It brought out the worst in us. That is the meaning of these words. That how you react when something is taking place is either going to help you evolve, which is it will either take you to a place where you can actually get what you want, or it will take you to a place where you struggle. So question is, how have our relationships been? How do we then deal with them? Let's come to this important question. How do we then deal with, okay, the Course, first thing it tells us, acknowledge that there is a higher divine purpose and reason why you are interacting with this person. So if the interaction is not going on pleasantly, what do we do? Right? What do we do next? Isn't that the question in your mind? What do we do? So that's the main question. So then what do you do? So says the Course. What you deny to someone in your mind, you also disallow in your own life. I told you, this is life-changing information. You know, when I started to read this first, I used to feel my cells vibrating. It used to connect with me, you see. But this is so powerful. So whatever I deny someone in my own mind, I disallow in my own life. So are you operating from that state where you feel the wrong that he has done, I cannot forgive. If I forgive, how will God give him the punishment? But the Course says, you forgiving and not forgiving has nothing to do with how God sees the situation. But it has everything to do with what you will be experiencing in your life. So tell me, if I could ask you and one of you to recall a past negative experience in a relationship, could you in a few lines tell me about the experience? I don't want the personal experience, I just want how you will narrate it to me in a few lines. For example, if you ask me that I lost my money and I never got back, that's something which comes to my mind. So anything that comes to your mind that somebody took away,
Beaten up by one of my friends.
you got beaten up by one of your friends. Now tell me, how does it feel to talk about this?
Well, let him go.
Let him go. But again, how does it feel to talk about it?
I mean, it's better not to do that.
Yes, that is the key. That's what I wanted to hear, which means we are better off actually not talking about it, which means every time we talk about it, we don't feel good, you see. Now, the Course explains why you don't feel good. Anybody would like to try? Why we don't feel good?
Because
Why is there discomfort?
we are not talking pleasant.
We are not talking, absolutely.
Taken that experience
Yes,
or put it better way.
correct.
So that every time we talk, we re-experience.
Yes, we re-experience, we relive the vibration of it, right? That means whenever I talk about something, it's a part of my vibration. And so it's a part of my energy system.
Little story.
Yes,
Means there were two friends.
yes,
They were crossing
yes,
mountains also. So the one friend was crossing. He just slipped and means, was about to fall. The
Yes.
other friend pick him up,
Yes.
and saved his life.
Yes.
Like so, and they again start to walking on,
Yes.
and the friend that wrote in the wall,
Yes.
"Today my friend saved my life."
Yes.
And later on they were walking, and some reason that a friend slapped him.
Okay.
So when he came across he feel very bad about
Yes,
that.
yes.
And when he came across this beach, he
Yes.
wrote that on the sand.
Yes.
Today my best friend has
Ah,
slapped me.
okay.
And,
Yes.
that way
Yes.
he actually the story, the first part I told was the second part.
First,
So
that needs to be erased.
this,
Yes.
normally we hold on to
We hold on.
bad memories are very hard.
Yes.
And good memory we like sand.
Yes. Yes. Because you see, if you don't like something, you think about it, you feel very strongly about it, right? Because you feel very strongly about it, you have more such thoughts coming and more such emotions coming. You see, it's like a chain. So that's why they say that whatever you think about and feel very strongly about, you get to experience again and again. So you see, some of us are addicted to pain stories because even pain has become comfortable now. You see, when I'm dealing with a patient with some kind of pain and I make him do a few things and he feels better, but then when I ask him, okay, so what did you do later on? I was speaking about it. I just felt good. So if you're the kind of person who has 5 things to say when somebody asks you, how are you doing? And those 5 sentences are what is not feeling right now, then the problem is we have become addicted to pain, which means you'll observe we get attention when we tell somebody we are not well. So you see, if you tell somebody you're not well, they'll touch your shoulder, and then they give you more affection, attention. But that's what's happening. You see, when we have pain and we express it, sometimes we get more attention and then we get addicted to that pain. So what we are talking about is even in relationships, and that's what the course says, you always have a choice. That choice is whether you want to hold on or let go. Easy, right? Sounds very easy, but we all know it's difficult. So then what do? So first we have to understand that we have to let go of pain stories. We have to let go of all the negative feelings about the other person. And one way we can let go of it is the awareness. The awareness that if I'm not feeling good, remembering something that happened in the past, the reason I am not feeling good is because I am not sharing universe's perception about the problem. You see, the universe is not thinking like that. You see, in the law of vibration, in the metaphysical world, there is one point absolutely clear which comes across again and again. That point is that when you don't feel good, you are disconnected with the source within you. You have disconnected with the energy that flows to you and through you, which means you are vibrating at one level, the source within is vibrating at another level. Conflict?
You can't connect.
You can't connect. There's a conflict. That pain that you're feeling, that dis-ease, lack of ease, discomfort that you're feeling, the anger that you're feeling is only a symbol of that disconnection with who you are. And therefore, the Course says the goal of every relationship you are having is to express your oneness with the other person. The lesson that you have to learn in your relationships is that you are all connected. Until you feel you are separate, you will keep repeating the class. You see, think about it. If you don't learn a certain lesson, what happens? You have to keep repeating the class. So if you're constantly having a problem in a certain area, that area is trying to teach you a lesson. The question is, are we learning the lesson? So the purpose, says the course, of every relationship is to teach you oneness, to teach you connection. And until you don't become aware and express that connection in your relationships, till the time you feel this is me, I'm separate, this is my family, this is him, till then what will happen? You'll constantly have somebody who brings out the worst in you, because you are not learning the lesson. So the problem, yes,
Does this apply only to the family relationships or
yes,
professional relationships?
to every relationship, until I feel that this person needs to be punished for what he has done, I will never be free. I will always be carrying the pain story. Let me explain. Sometimes when you've had a rough day, you've had a tough time, you've made mistakes, let's face it, maybe you made mistakes. At that moment when you have made those mistakes, you are not feeling good. What do you need most at those times? What do you need most? Do you need somebody to attack you and tell you how bad you are, to punish you, or do you need some healing? That's it. So God is looking at the other person, universe is looking at the other person also in the same manner. You see, that's the key. If we become aware that when I don't feel good about something, and talking ill about another person does not right the wrong that he has done. So if I am constantly judging someone, I'll be wrong even if I was right in the first place. If I constantly judge someone, I'll be wrong even if I was right in the first place. I have wronged myself by talking about the wrong that this other person is doing.
But the thoughts which are coming again
Yes.
and again, how do you delete it from the subconscious mind? Because
So,
it is,
yes.
like when you're sleeping also,
Yes.
those are running,
Yes.
How do you delete it straight away?
So first, the course says awareness that we are all one. Awareness that when two people share an experience, one of them has to take the responsibility to let go and cut those cords. And how will you do that? You will do that by forgiveness. You see, when you feel strongly, obviously you haven't forgotten what has happened. Forgiveness, says the course, is a big key to start feeling less and less of the wrong that has been done. Now there are lots of ways to change those negative stories running. Lots of things that you could do. Recall a past happy event, break the chain of the negativity. Stop talking. First thing we need to do is stop talking about the wrong that has been done with 10 other people. We have a tendency, we keep talking about it because we feel lighter. But you're not doing any service to yourself by constantly narrating pain stories to other people. So one, stop recalling those stories by talking about them. Secondly, the course says acknowledge that even the other person who's done wrong needs healing. Bless him. Bless him. How will you bless him? Forgive.
By sending him loving thoughts,
Wish him well.
wish him well.
You see, wish him well. Say in your mind, as you think of him, I wish you good health. I wish you happiness. I wish you love. I wish you prosperity.
At least this should not happen to the other man.
Yes.
Normally what
Yes,
we say.
yes. You see, there's a very simple principle the course talks about. It says that you have a power to change another person, but for that you have to operate from a certain level. You see, what is the difference between that person and you if he's done wrong and you're talking about the wrong and you're feeling bad about the wrong that has been done? You see, you can only awaken another person and change another situation if you are yourself awake. Question is, are you awake? How will you be awake? By understanding that first you need the healing, and the healing that you need is to bring back the experience of love in your life. That is the healing you need. You need to bring back the experience of love. So you need to feel love within your own self. Then you can be in a position where your mere presence will also impact other people. But first, you have to be awake. So forgiveness would be a great way. Awareness that we are all one and the universe is looking at the other person in a very different way than I'm looking at the other person. You know, the universe is not here to punish him. The universe will always be looking at that person who did wrong to you also with compassion. So you also got to see the person with compassion. That's the key. That is the key. So the goal of every relationship is to express connection and oneness with each other. Until you don't learn the lesson of oneness with the other person, until you don't learn to see the person with love, you will struggle. So what is the most powerful statement we can make to help us with our relationships? God, universe, help me see this with love. We can ask for help, you see. When it's tough, let's ask for help. Please help me see this with love. As we do, you'll see how you will get the strength to do it. Because at the end of the day, it's all about seeing the situation now with love. Okay, let's go to the second important area. What should we take now? Health, body. Yes, so let's go to body now. Let's go to our health. So again, the same question. What is the purpose of our health? What is the purpose of our physical body? To look nice. To enjoy life. To live your life. It's really nice listening to all these answers. Yes. Fulfilling. Helping others, doing our duty. What else? What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind?
It's a gift from God.
It's a beautiful gift from God. Can't thank God enough. To evolve. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What else? What do you think is the purpose? So the Course says the goal of your body, the purpose for your body is to express well-being. Well-being is the basis of your physical body. The essence of you being here is to express well-being. And as you rightly said, to help others, but it has to begin with the feeling of well-being within your own self. So you see, there's a great saying in Ayurveda. If you wish to know what your thoughts have been like in the past, examine your body today. Your body is a reflection of the thoughts that you have been thinking. And if you wish to know what your body will be like in the future, years later, you want to know what your physical body is going to be like, examine your thoughts today. What are you thinking about most of the time? Is it a good world for you? Is it a mean, bad world for you? You see, your body is only going to reflect what your thoughts are like. And so says the Course, any kind of problem in the body is really not a problem in the body. It is a reflection of a problem in your mind, in your thoughts. Says the Course, sick thinking has caused and brought upon sickness. Now by sick thinking, we don't mean that you have a sick personality. By sick thinking, we mean negative thoughts, negative thinking, thoughts of lack, thoughts of fear, thoughts of judgment for the other person, thoughts of jealousy, thoughts of hatred, thoughts of bitterness. You see, these are all categorized as sick thoughts, sick thinking. Now tell me, if the problem is in the mind, then how do you treat the body?
Treat the mind first.
You got to treat the mind first. There is no way you can heal the body if you don't heal the mind. So healing really is needed for the mind. And the Course says the only healing the mind needs is
Love.
to return to
Source.
return to love. So you see, today when something happens to us physically, we rely a lot on doctors, right? We rely on doctors and we start taking medication. The course says, please take those pills. But know this, that the healing has not taken because of the pills, but because of your belief in those pills.
Yes.
So therefore, healing the body has a lot to do with the mind. But the mind is really your beliefs. So when I'm taking a certain treatment, let's say I believe exercising is very good for me. Trust me, when I exercise, I will get better. Maybe somebody else won't. He's exercising but seeing no result and he says, you're exercising, I'm exercising, you're doing great, nothing has happened to me. But that's because he doesn't believe in the power of exercise. And the person who believes in the power of exercise does start to see the benefits.
But all diseases are not psychosomatic, right?
Yes.
It's not at one moment. It's what you've been repeatedly thinking about that becomes a part of your dominant vibration. And because it becomes a part of your dominant vibration, every cell is vibrating with that energy. And we all know negative thoughts, negative thinking and negative vibration block the flow of fresh energy to come inside. And when new energy is not able to come inside, there are blockages. There is pain. There are illnesses, what we call as dis-ease in the body. So the Course says your emotional, your mental interaction with the treatment that you're taking, whether it is going for a walk every day with a nice friend, you feel that is helping you, then it will. So really, treatment has a lot to do with your belief in the treatment that you're taking. Your conviction that it is going to work for you. You know, one of the great things we can do when we take any kind of treatment is to praise the benefits of that treatment that we are taking. Now that you talk about to others. You praise your drugs that you're taking. You praise those medicines that you're taking. You praise all those exercises that you are doing. Because that will really help you. It will help you come out of that pain and that illness much faster, says the Course. So what is the most powerful statement that we can say when it comes to healing of the body?
Have good thoughts.
Have good thoughts. So the Course says, God, I let go. When I say I let go means I surrender my negative thoughts. You see, when you feel negative, and the question was asked, right? What happens when negative thoughts are running? Ask for guidance. Says the Course, whenever you ask for guidance, you will get. So say to yourself, I let go. I let go of this anger. I let go of this judgment. I let go of these thoughts. I let go. And also know this, that every moment is important. Because we all know that the law of attraction is really a universal energy which is bringing to you that which you put out in the form of your vibration. So every moment is important for your healing. Every moment is going to play a role to bring that moment when healing occurs. So don't waste a single day for your well-being. Make an effort to start to feel good, because the Course says well-being will come to you, but first it must come through you. It must come through you. So you must start using, as you rightly said, some positive statements. Most importantly, when negative thoughts come, I let go. God, universe, I let go, says the Course. Surrender your problems to God. There is power in surrender. Okay? So, what's the third area now?
Work. So now, because this really opened my own eyes. So I want to ask you the question again. What is the purpose of your work? What is the purpose of your career? What is the purpose of the job that you do? What is the purpose? Come on, share your thoughts.
Earn a living.
Earn a living. Yes, more thoughts. Use your knowledge. Okay, wonderful. Use your knowledge.
Evolve spiritually.
Evolve spiritually.
Duty towards your family, responsibility. What else?
Responsibility with your friends.
Yes. What other thoughts? Okay. So the course says there is one and only one purpose for the work that you do. The purpose for the job that you do, the career that you are in, is one and only one. It is to spread
Love.
Love. How can spell love?
to spread love.
But how will you spread love if you don't have money?
You don't have?
Money.
If you don't have money. Okay. Very valid question.
No, but
That's what I
even this one, Mother Teresa didn't have money. Yet she
Yes.
spread. Yet she spread. You don't have to have money.
Yes.
Yeah, but this says Teresa is one in the world.
He's
That's
inspiring you
what I
to be the next. You see, he's giving you inspiration to be the next. Okay. Well, you should bring out your thoughts.
Yeah, we are always caught in paradox. Like we think we get money, we will give our best.
Yeah.
At times it will be other way also.
Other way around.
Give your best, money will come.
Money will come. So there is a great saying, I think it was said by one of the great motivational gurus, W. Clement Stone. He had said that if you don't give when it is tough, you will not give when it is easy. That's what he used to say. So he says if you have 100, you can give 5. Nobody is asking you to give 95 or 100 completely, but give something. So he says if you don't give when it's tough, you will never give when it is easy. Okay, that's what reminded me since these thoughts came up. So let's understand what the course says about career. The course says that the purpose of the job that you do is love, because the course says most of us are under the impression that that is separate from who I am. You see, I go to the job, I do my work, that's a different personality. I come home, I'm a different human being. But the course says that is negative thinking, that's erroneous thinking. Your work must represent you. Your work and job and the business and your career must represent who you are. You've heard of people saying, business mein ye sab karna padta hai, business brings out the worst in you. I'm a completely different person.
They have dual personality.
Dual personality. So the course says that your work is always an expression of who you are, your basic self. And the course says your basic self is always love. Is always love. So therefore, the goal of whatever you do is to spread love and joy. As you spread love and joy, you will climb the ladder of success, says the course. Says the course, the more you spread love, the more you climb the ladder of success. So, the purpose of my apparel store is to spread love. The purpose of my travel agency must be to spread love. The purpose of my hair salon must be to spread love. Because that's who you are. So the question we often ask ourselves is, what should I do? Why am I doing this? What should I do? What is the right thing for me to do? Important questions. But the course says there is one question that you miss, which is more important than these questions. Any guesses? One question, says the course, which is more important than what should I do? Where should I go? What is my purpose? The course says there is one question more important which we miss, and that is why we suffer as far as our career and money is concerned. Says the course, the most important question and the key to a successful career is to ask, how should I do what I do? How should I do what I do? And the course also gives us an answer. Says every time you ask yourself this question, remember the answer is one and only one. You do it with love. You do it with kindness. When you offer your services and your products with love, we are not saying offer them free of charge. Says the course, whatever you do, when your basic intention is to spread love Love is the underlying principle. You really want the person to benefit from your product. You see, you really want the person to benefit from your service because you are so passionate about what you do. For that, says the Course, first believe in what you do. Because if you don't believe in what you do, then the intention will obviously not be to spread love. It will only be to gain something. And that is going to take us down rather than helping us climb the ladder. So whatever we are doing at this moment in our life, says the Course, is what was chosen for you by the universe. So instead of saying what next, what next, what next, wherever you are right now, do that with love, do that with kindness, and you will see how that love and that kindness will take you to the right place at the right time with the right people. The purpose of your career is to spread love, says the Course. If you start to move from a sales mentality to a service mentality, says the Course, a shift will occur. And do you know where the shift will first occur? In your own business.
Could you repeat that again?
So when we start moving from a sales mentality, which means more clients, more money, more clients, more money, to a service mentality. How do I improve what I am offering to my clients? So whenever we lack money in our business, job or career, says the Course, ask yourself, how can you better what you are doing? How can you better your offering? How can you better your training? How can you better your service? And when you do that, the money will come. Because the shift will first be seen in your service offering. The shift will first be seen in your own life, in your own career. So there is a line that I heard years back, and let me remind you of it. It is said, the money that you make in your life is always and always in exact proportion to the service you render. The money that you make is always in exact proportion to the service that you give. So if you are not making as much as you want to make, ask yourself, how am I doing what I am doing? Am I doing it with love? How can I bring more love? How can I better my service? How can I better my product? And you will see how miraculous changes will begin to take place in your career, in your job, in your work. So the purpose of my body is to express well-being. The purpose of my relationships is to express oneness. The purpose of my job and my work is to spread love. I'm reminded of a song. I had heard this for the first time on the internet. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. There's a song which says, this little light of mine, I am gonna let it shine. The message, friends, of the Course in Miracles is, let the light within you shine. That's the key to a fulfilled life. The question is, are you willing to let the light shine? And if you are willing to let the light shine, then the first thing that we need to do is be willing to let go of our insecurities, our fear. Because the Course says fear only means there is an absence of love. And the Course says where there is no love, there is no success. So whatever area is lacking in your life now, really, says the Course, lacks love. Bring more love and see the experience changing. As you liberate yourself of the fear, others around you will also do the same. By your mere presence, you will begin to make others feel and experience the shift as well. So no matter what the shape, the size or the form of our problems, a miracle can handle it all. You agree? No matter what the shape, size or form of our problems, a miracle can handle it all. But let us understand how the miracle will take place. The Course says miracles naturally occur as expressions of love. Love is what makes miracles happen. I wish you love. I wish you lots of miracles. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wish you the same.
Thank you so much.
Wish you the same.
Yes. So you have any questions?
Which are the books you recommend by Mariana? We can see.